Whatever God allows is out of love for human beings. Geronda. Why does God allow calamities to happen? There are all kinds of reasons. Sometimes God allows a disaster to happen so that something better may come out of it. Other times He wants to educate us. Some people are given a reward and others pay a debt. Nothing is wasted. You must know that whatever God allows, even when human beings perish, it is done out of love for man, because God has a heart. Do you remember how the prophet Elijah slaughtered the 450 priests of Baal? He had told them, "Go ahead and pray, and I will do the same. And the altar of fire that starts up by itself will show us whose God is the true God." They started shouting, "Hear us, Baal." And the prophet told them, "Your God can't hear your pleas. Shout louder." So they went on screaming and slashing their bodies with knives, as was their custom. So that being in excruciating pain, they screamed even louder to get Baal to listen to them. But nothing happened, and in the end the prophet Elijah told them, "Pour water 3 times over these logs." So they did it once, twice, 3 times. The wood had become very wet and water was running all over the altar. But as soon as the prophet prayed, fire fell from the sky and everything they had brought for sacrifice on the altar was burned up, including the altar itself. Prophet Elijah then said, "Arrest these priests because they deceive the people, misleading them into idolatry," and he slaughtered them all. Some say, "But why did Elijah slaughter so many people?" God is not a barbarian, and neither was the prophet. But those idolatrous priests had misguided so many people that the prophet had reached the point of saying, "I am all alone." Such was their influence. And the truth is that they suffered more from self-mutilation than they did from the knife of Prophet Elijah, who actually put an end to their suffering. The pain they had inflicted on themselves was actually far greater. So you can see God's philanthropy and contrast it with the self-imposed injuries of the idolaters, which were so cruel and painful. Geronda. Why was God's punishment so direct in the Old Testament? At that time, that was the only language and the only law that people could understand. God himself was not any different then, but the law of Moses was designed for that particular people. Do not consider the Old Testament law as being cruel, and the gospel as something different. The law was necessary for the benefit of the people of that time. Keep in mind that it was not the law as such that was cruel and barbaric. It was the people. People might do more barbarous things today, but at least they understand how horrific they are. These days, if an oil lamp starts swinging, so many people are shaken up. But in those days, that would not be enough. God had to do much more to get people to pay attention. He had to send 10 plagues to the Pharaoh in order to take the Israelites out of Egypt. He turned the Red Sea into dry land so that they could walk to the other side. He provided a cloud by day to protect them from the sun, and a pillar of light at night to guide them in the dark. But despite these miracles, they ended up taking a golden calf to be their god. Today, people would never believe that a calf could lead them to the promised land.